was a finger movement.
Oh,
You can go.
that was too subtle for me. No subtlety here. Hi, this is Paul Gratton at the Whistler Film Festival, where I'm talking to the Soska sisters, who just premiered the late night Terror Fest with an amazingly successful screening of the Vancouver-based American Mary, which is only offended a small portion of the audience that showed up at the bewitching hour. Having said that, this film has been winning awards all around the world. And I want you to talk a little bit about the difficulties in getting Canadians to accept what you've been doing while you've been embraced by everybody you've met everywhere else in the world.
It's a little bit funny. We recently got a beautiful spread in the Vancouver Sun, but that was something we were hoping to get like years ago with Dead Hooker in a Trunk. They looked at us and said, "Good for you girls, but you're not really news yet." And now that we've returned home, people are asking, "Are you nervous to be on TV or in the news?" And it's like, we go to the UK and we're almost like the Beatles. They come over to us with their little
Lennon.
bigger than Jesus. No, but
Now we're getting shot.
Now that's
Oh, but I saw some stuff that on YouTube from your trip to England, and I think Catherine Isabel was there, and you won
Yes,
some
she was.
awards. And I mean, they were going crazy. It was like
They
the
had a-
second coming.
They had a vigil outside our hotel. After the screening, we had to go and do our press, and they asked me, "Are you coming back?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, later we'll be back." And I was down in the foyer, and there was this crowd of people waiting, and I was like, they've been waiting here for 5 hours, because when I said I'd be back, they took it in the most literal way.
And it was weird because, like, we always talk about Dead Hooker in a Trunk. You say Dead Hooker in a Trunk here, and everyone says, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, that was a movie I made. Don't worry about it." Over there, they come out with the DVDs. They start cheering. They start quoting the movie. I met Doug Bradley, and I'm a huge Hellraiser fan, and the guy offered to take our picture all together. And I go there, and we're standing together, and he's like, "Everybody say Dead Hooker in a Trunk." And Doug's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's just, oh my God, I didn't even know that guy knew who the hell I was." It was
So
just
you were
weird.
happy when the programmer at Whistler had seen the movie.
Yeah, I was shocked and amazed.
And you saw Mary, and you know everything about it so eloquently. I love that, because I think because of the content, people get too stuck on that, and they're like, "Oh, it's body modifications, horrendous, you can't," and then they forget that there's a film there with a story there, and great merit to what you've been programming for the late night
Thank
terror
you.
with El Topo and Battle Royale.
Listen, I love late night gore and genre films, but they have to be smart and they have to be about something more than just
Yeah.
the gore, because otherwise it's just a visual effects exercise, and that gets really boring when you've seen as many movies as I have. What I
Yeah.
loved about your film is that it was really about the transformation of the central
Yes.
character.
Thank you for
You want
that.
to talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Well, she's played by Catherine Isabel, which I read an article that said introducing Catherine Isabel, which is another thing. She's been acting since she
Ginger
was
snaps.
5
I
years
know.
old. And it's because she's Canadian. She's hit this Canadian glass ceiling where they're like, "Oh, we're going to cast an actress in the lead role, but she has to be from LA." And everyone's like, "Who is Catherine Isabel? She's Canadian. We can't possibly use her." I'm like, she's one of the most talented actresses out there. Trust me, she's going to kill it at this role. And she's so naturally wonderful. She's accidentally hilarious, because if she did it on purpose, she'd be a genius. And I know her too well to be like, "No, Katie, you're just accidentally the most funniest thing I've ever seen." And so genuine and so honest. And the performance that she does is something that I've always wanted to see a female character do, because it's so multidimensional. She's not flawless. She's deeply flawed, and she goes to so many different progressions in it. And if you didn't have Catherine Isabel, you couldn't have gotten this film, because 3 takes for everything. And when you watch the film, people are like, "How did you shoot that in 15 days?" I'm like, because I had the best cast, crew on the planet, and Katie is a warlock when it comes to acting. Gorgeous, so emotionally on par with anything. It was just such a treat.
If it hadn't been for her performance, I mean, the behavior of that character is pretty horrendous
Yes.
if you're objective, but
Yeah.
she gives you an entry point so that you understand where the pain is, and the expressions on her face, it's like everybody around her is much nuttier than she is. Like she's the sane one in the midst of this. Anyway, that was my impression.
Oh, I'm glad you saw that.
Sorry, it's turning into my interview. I didn't mean this. I am such a fan of this movie, and you absolutely have to go out and see it when it opens theatrically.
Yes, and in Canada, Anchor Bay, Canada, overseas, Universal Pictures, and in Australia, Monster Pictures, and hopefully before Christmas we'll be announcing US.
And also, I know Industry Works Pictures and Anchor Bay have an announcement that's going to be coming up for Canada, because I know we've had our theatrical announcements in Australia and our theatrical announcements in the UK.
But I can't tell you what that announcement's going to be. Who knows? Could be anything.
Dot, dot, dot.
Anchor Bay has been great. They were the people who, of course, sponsored the Terror Fest. They were the ones
Oh,
who
yeah?
first suggested that I check
Yes.
out your movie.
Anchor Bay is phenomenal. They've really embraced filmmakers like Adam Green, who
Yeah.
should be a household name after Hatchet 1 and 2. I mean, we're at the ski slopes right now. You can't think about that without Frozen. I don't know if you saw that, but
Yes, I did.
that's the reason I'll never go on one of those lifts.
Yep.
Also, I heard one of your lifts fell down once.
Yeah, I just heard that.
I don't know. I'm new to Whistler.
Yeah, on the gondola. That's
I
it.
wish I'd known that because I went up to the gondola. And
Did you?
I did the
Yeah.
peak-to-peak thing for a cheap thrill.
Dangerous.
Well, yeah, but I'm too old and stupid.